Good evening, good morning, and good night. Welcome to Inappropriate Radio. It's your host, Tashana. Let's get into this. So, hi guys. No periodic table, no alien talk this evening. However, you already know the creator came through with the message. Now, I was led to not record. Not instructed, I was led. There's a difference. When you are instructed, it's because you already have enough information to know which is the proper route to take. It comes with the use of your instincts. More than likely, at least two of your gifts will be involved. When you are being instructed to do something, right? You have enough information to make a sound decision. When you are being guided, it's kind of like you have limited information and you're just going off of what you're being led to do, right? You're just following the creator and the direction that he's sending you in, and you really don't even know if you're making the right choice or not, right? I actually did not want to record. Yesterday was my dad's birthday. It was his 50th birthday, and he's been passed over since 2006. And excuse me for any noise in the background because I am still at work. But, yeah, pretty much I was led, like I said, to not do any recording. And to be totally honest, if the creator would have had me record yesterday, my father, it was overwhelming. His presence was overwhelming. So if I would have recorded, it would have literally been a channeling from him. I would have been channeling from him, because from the time I woke up, not from the exact time I woke up, but maybe from around 11, around 11 or so in the morning, I felt his presence. I actually channeled him, and he was, being a clown. He was just clowning all day. And then I spoke with my sister, I spoke with my uncle, and then I realized that I needed to spend a bit more time with him. And then I just rested, and then I went to sleep around 7 or 8ish, had the weirdest dream. And then I woke up and I realized, literally, I woke up at exactly 12 o'clock. So even if I did record last night, it would have been popping up for today, right? Because I didn't record before midnight, right? Everything before midnight, we already know. Okay, I don't have to get into that. But yeah, that's basically what happened, okay? Just to give you a heads up on why I didn't record. I didn't want to. It was actually kind of hard to. It wasn't hard, but it was I had to really concentrate on separating the downloads that I was getting in comparison to what I know my father was communicating and conveying to me, right? So I just wanted to make sure that I spent enough time with him in spirit. Like I said, I felt his presence in the morning. So by the time 3 or 4 came, I was already okay, everything he's showing me and sending me right now is for me. And I needed that time as well as that energy to get everything that I needed organized as far as spiritual matters are concerned. And like I said, I didn't want to mix up the messages, and I definitely didn't want to do a channeling from him and put it on a podcast, because I don't do that. I don't do channel messages for people, right? My channelings are for me, and then when I get a download, the creator will tell me if it's for the podcast or not. Okay. But all in all, there was this really important message, and I'm not even going to lie. Initially, I got this download earlier today. This download is not a part of that big cluster that I got the other morning. When we wrestle with these spirits, if you know that there's a spirit running rampant, whether it's solely attacking and attempting to attach itself to you, or if it's just like this outlandish behavior that is trying to like jump from person to person that is connected to you, you have to wear the spirit down. You have to tire it out. So we had a conversation a few weeks back about how if you are the one who the Creator has given the gift of casting out, seership, any type of spiritual gifts where you are transmuting energy or casting out energy, a spirit or whatever it is, you have to sometimes take on that energy yourself, right? So you ever seen those movies where they call the priest and then the priest gets baptized? In order for you to fully understand the spirit, in order for you to fully understand the weakness and the strength, so you can know which angle to come from while dealing with this spirit, for you to know how to tame it, sometimes you have to wrestle with that spirit yourself, because a lot of times people they start to blame and judge and just throw different darts at people when they're dealing with spirits, not taking into account that it's probably a spiritual component to their behavior, right? So long story short, because we only have 8 minutes, you are going to have to tire the spirit out. You have to overwork the spirit. You have to make this spirit so irritated with aggravating you, with stalking you, with attempting to latch on to you, that it is worn out. And there are several ways to do that. Demanding and commanding that the spirit leave and returns to where it originates from is probably like the first way. That's like surface level, right? Without you really having to get your hands dirty. I mean, this is before the fasting, before the prayer night, before the casting out. That's like an initial cast, right? It's not really like you put in the elbow grease in to cast the spirit out. It's more so like, I'm demanding that you leave, and I'm going to use my voice, because remember, the throat chakra is the most powerful outside of the heart, right? In the sacral, we talked about that. At least of the big 7 chakras, right? Because we know there's 114, but of the main 7, your throat chakra is the connection. It's the link, right, between this realm and all others. If you are powerful enough, you can speak things into existence, or you can speak things from happening. However you want to look at it, right? But the overall gist of this thing was to have the full understanding of what's required in order for us to have this full on cast out of an unwanted spirit. Now, some spirits, we pray for them unknowingly, right? So when they say, like, you got to be careful what you ask for, you really do, because sometimes you ask for things and these spirits are attached to it. And it could be a child, it could be a husband, it could be a job, it could be money, it could be whatever. Like, I'm not even like trying to name a particular thing. I'm just telling you that when you get to casting, you have to understand that this spirit is attempting to take over. It's trying to become so strong that it can manifest into a vessel. It's trying to become so strong that it can literally take over other people's vessels. It can trap and bind people's spirits. It can swap vessels. These spirits are, if you're not careful, very tricky. And you having some sort of knowledge about them is what's going to keep you from being dethroned, okay? Now, I'm not going to tell you how to fast. I'm not going to tell you how to pray. I absolutely cannot do that. I absolutely will not do it. But what I will tell you is that if you are going to tire out the spirit, you have to stay conscious. This is one of those things where you have to literally be conscious about every single thing that you're doing, okay? So it doesn't matter if you're eating. I mean, even if it's something low vibrational, you need to be keeping God at the forefront. I mean, like, forgive God. God, I know that I'm not supposed to be doing this, but right now, I'm not strong enough to, abstain from it. So can you please grant me some forgiveness or some strength to abstain, or a distraction to keep me from engaging in this thing, whatever the thing may be, right? We all have our different vices. Everyone's situation is going to look, feel, sound, and be different. But when it comes to the spiritual realm, there is no grand distinction between how a spirit latches on to you. If you have any area open, any area of weakness, any area where you're not praying and asking God to protect it, to heal it, to, adjust it, to bring equilibrium to it, that it would be a doorway. I mean, and even those areas that you believe you have all the strength in, these spirits will test it. These spirits will say, okay, you're a prayer warrior. Let me see how long you can pray. How many minutes throughout the day do you devote to the Creator and praying to God? How many times do you ask the Creator to step in on your behalf? How many times are you conscious with your movement, with your thoughts, with everything that you're doing from the time you wake up until the time you go to sleep? How aware are you? Once you start filling in all of those different blanks and you start to make the distinctions between what spirits you even have the strength, because we don't always have the strength to fight these spirits, right? Some of these spirits we were born with. They were literally inherited throughout the bloodline, right? So, I mean, if it were that easy, then our forefathers would have gotten rid of it a long time ago, and then abundance would be reigning supreme throughout the bloodline. But what happens is we get comfortable. We had a conversation about how some spirits are socially acceptable, like drinking, smoking, being lustful, being greedy, being like materialistic. Like, some of these spirits in society have earned their place, and they're pretty freaking popular, right? So how do you banish a spirit that people are inviting in? And I think that is the part where we need to start kind of shining the light and putting the lens on. There's, like I said, totally different aspects and perspectives when it comes to this, but the main gist here is to understand that your awareness on these spirits and how to wear them out is how you do it. We can't talk to them like they're our friends. We have to make them tired of being in our presence, okay? But I'm going to end it here. I do love y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed y'all weekend. I hope y'all are drinking your water, eating your fruit and vegetables, and sipping on your own tea because it's free. Love y'all. Peace.